Okay, boxes to builds. This one is actually going to go to West Virginia. I had to order it for, this is going to be one of those multi-state kind of deals where a golfer from West Virginia comes and gets fit. We're getting heads from Arizona, because that's where Eric is at. And we are getting all the other parts and supplies from other places in the nation. It's kind of a new boxes to builds. Unlike other boxing things, and of course I've said it before, not much of an unboxer, but this box came like this for a set of heads. I'm kind of interested in see what it looks like, and I figure I might as well bring you guys along for the ride. Unlike other boxing videos, I don't have a fancy knife. I just have my golf knife that I keep sharp. Let's see what we get. Okay, what we're unboxing is a set of 902 forged irons, and we'll get closer on these. The 902 is one of the more popular models, and if you take a look, it's of course it's a forged club. It's been CNC milled. There's no badging that goes on here. Very, very clean, right? Very, very clean. And the golfer Jim, I like that guy's name, actually hit these pretty good. I will say this, Eric is very serious about his packing. Now, for those of you that get parts and pieces and you get them and there's always that scratch or dent or just slight imperfection from shipping, that's not happening here. Back in just about as easy as it came out. So let's go in the shop and let's talk about this 902 for a moment. The 902 forged new level iron. Jim from West Virginia came for a fitting, and it determined that we had a choice. We had two irons that the contest came right down to, or the fitting came down to. They were equally hit well, all right? They were equally hit well. And it came down to is he chose the new level. New level. Okay. The new level, the 902, as far as my fittings have gone, have turned out to be, this seems to be the one that people gravitate towards the most. All right, so we're going to show you, so here's a 5 and here's a 9, all right? So here's a 5 and there's a 9. Different shapes, right? Significantly different shapes. From the backs, from the bottom, there you go. From the bottom, a little more meat, right? Again, Eric is a big, he likes killing the leading edge so that it doesn't, when you go to hit the turf, that it's not a digger, but yet still gives you the playable sole. Okay. As the club apparently gets more loft, so does the sole of the club. Now what I liked about it is, again, it's a forged club. We'll use the 9. It's a forged club. Has a slight pocket in there, just a little one. Milled, that's milled. All right, milled out to what I would call precise weight removal, precise design. And this one is, I believe, this is the one that you would see on, in better players' bags too. It has a modicum of offset, just a little bit. I would classify this in the low medium range, right? The low medium range. I go like that. There you go. A low medium range. There we go. It's a good looking club. I mean, it hits well. It's a good looking club. And what more can you say? Now, it comes as high as a 3, I believe. Anyway, the low end, which is more important to me, is it only goes into the pitching wedge. And that's where we went to. Because once you get past the pitching wedge, you need to go to the regular wedge. And I think that was the deciding factor, because the other set did have a gap wedge, and we talked about how forgiving a regular iron is in the gap wedge. However, Jim decided that he wanted a regular wedge, so that's what we got, a regular wedge. He got the M50, again from New Level. Okay, again from New Level. Now we got a 50 and a 56. Now what I like about the 50 and the 56, that's a good spot. You see the shadowing right there? All right, so you got a heel and you got a toe relief, so that, you know, especially in West Virginia when you're playing in the hills, right, that you get, you know, a little bit that it doesn't catch into the turf the way the Jim hits into the ball. That this is a generous, there we go, that's a generous sole, so you don't get stuck when you're hitting a wedge. That's what we wanted. It's what I would call, it's not a high toe, but it's, you know, it's got a nice, easy, traditional shape. On the back it's got milling and another forged wedge. Now what he also surprised me with is the new iron is the 623M. The 623M. Okay, it's his version of a blade. It has it's not a butter knife sole to be anywhere out. It's narrow here, a little thicker here. Again with the killed leading edge. You know, it's got a very nice shape. Thin top line for those guys that like the thin top line. A little New Level love on the back there. There you go. Of course, it's got, you know, the mill patterns here, here, and here. I'm told it's very, very soft. We're going to find out. So this is going to be on another review, another wear. I just wanted to show you now so you can know that it's coming. So thanks, Eric. So like always, we're going to measure everything out, see if it matches what Eric says it's supposed to be, along with the other shafts, and we'll go over what we're going to put them together, and then we'll talk about that one thing that I like talking about when we do these videos. As I was unpacking the 902s, I also had yet another surprise. The New Level forged 1126. The 1126. This looks to be, and you go, Jim, it looks a lot closer to the 902. Well, you wouldn't be too far from the truth. But there's the 902 here, and there's the 1126 here. Alright, so a slightly larger cavity. It looks to have about the same face print, maybe just a little bit bigger, but not by much. Alright, looks like the 1126 has got a slightly wider sole. Just slightly. Everything's just been tweaks, and that's what I'm told this is basically a tweak. And it looks to be very, very forgiving. So along with the blade, we're going to do a review on that. So somebody's got to help me because these are right-handed. Alright, so what are we going to put in these 902s for Jim in West Virginia? We're going to put in ACCRA. Okay, ACCRA. See if that helps you out a little bit better. The ACCRA Iseries. The ACCRA Iseries. This is the 70 gram. Now the Iseries comes in various weights and various flexes. Starting at the 40, goes all the way up past 100. As they go up, so do the flexes, right? So when you get to a fitter that does ACCRA, and I've been asked, where can somebody get ACCRA, right? Where can somebody get ACCRA? Well, you get them from certified fitters, right? These guys deal with custom club makers. If you look in their website, you need to get to the website so you can check out if there's somebody in your neighborhood that will do that or install it for you. That's what it should happen, right? They should be installing for you. But these are the 70. Now, Jim's tempo is very smooth, all right? When you get very smooth, typically lighter shafts tend to work better. And in this particular case, it did. Now, there are light shafts out there, 60 grams, 40 grams and whatnot, but in the average, this is what I would call a fairly light shaft. How about that upside down stuff? There we go. So typical gray. Now the other thing that ACCRA does is that they do customizing, so you can get different colors and different, you know, if you like it shiny versus matte. So we originally were going to go with blue and gold, or a golden color for the West Virginia colors, but it was going to take too long for him because he's fairly excited about it. Anyway, I've got it inscribed down here for him. It says it has a little message for him. And then when we get into the wedges, because you saw the wedges, we are doing, ACCRA makes a specific wedge shaft. All right, they make a specific wedge shaft, and this one is a 90-gram wedge shaft, which would go with the 70s very, very well, because you want it to be slightly heavier, but you don't want it sledgehammer-like. So I think the build's going to turn out to be pretty good. And then we're going to add, keeping with the blue theme, right, MCC Golf Pride, MCC4 in the mid-size. His hands are slightly larger than average. It looked like it was going to be pretty good, and he ended up really fitting into that one better. And then the last trick of the trade here is we're giving him a blue ferrule. We're going to stay, so we couldn't give him a blue shaft, we're going to give him a blue ferrule. So let's go make a club. Final part of the build, the new level 902. All right, the new level 902, and kind of a surprise addition, the M-Series Wedge. All right, the M-Series Wedge. And we're using the ACCRA Iseries 70 shafts with the MCC4 blue in mid-size. Turns out that Jim is a taller fella but has very tall arms and very long arms, and that's the reason why this really worked out well for him. He hit it very, very well. Now, about new level, all right, and this is from a club maker's perspective, not the hitter's perspective. When you deal with new companies, it's always kind of dicey because you have no idea what you're going to get. Fortunately, I trust Eric because we've known each other for a while, and I knew he would put out a quality product, and he did. The weights were dead solid on. The lofts were dead solid on, and the lie angles happened to be just exactly where I needed them to be. So after checking, I really didn't have to bend any. That was very, very good. Now, quality of the build. If you get in there, you can take a look. There, see that milling in the back there? This is the M-Series wedge. And if you look, it's got a bit of a heel relief, and you get into some of the toe relief. So it's a very universal, easy to use type wedge, particularly with 12 degrees of bounce. This thing is going to be very, very, very friendly. All right, and then you get in the 902, which seems to be one of their more popular models. All right, it appears to be a longer blade, but it truly isn't any different than most. It's got a what I would call a mid-strong setup, you know, about a 26 degree 5-iron, gets down to 45 in the pitching wedge. Not too bad. All right, and Jim actually hit it pretty good. Now the cool part about this is, you know, we got the frequency match, we got the spine and flow, we got to do all that, and we got to give him a little bit of extra love right there. All right, ACCRA hooks us up. Now they can do different colors, but right now this is where we wanted to go with that, and we should be good to go. Now, everything came out exactly the way that I wanted it, and we got some new level released some new models, an 1126 and the 623. The 1126 is just the one end of the spectrum. They're most forgiving, and their 623 is their blade, of which we're going to do a review on once I get somebody to hit them because they're right-handed. All right, so hopefully you like what you saw. If you're interested in new level, you know, and give Eric a call, or if you want me to, if you got your specs and you would like for me to take care of it for you, just give us an email, clubmaker@mcgolf.net or mcgolfshop@roadrunner.com, and we will take care of you. And like always, let's see your scores go low.